The idea of creative connections is to get around the country, we're now in Birmingham, for example, and to find out what is actually going on the ground. We want to talk to those people who are actively involved with their faith, and then bring them together with journalists, editors, broadcasters, and get them to talk to each other and communicate, so that long after we've left, there's a real dialogue between them. So much is going on in the religious area, real importance, tremendous social work and other things, which just most people don't know about.
Sometimes people don't know how to articulate their projects.
I don't have really got a clue as to who to contact, how to make the contact.
There is slight wariness of engaging with the media and of stories not being portrayed, authentically.
We've got people who are wanting to communicate their stories but are a bit nervous about the media. And you've got the media who are desperate for content, stories to tell, people's stories to tell. And actually, they don't know much about the religious communities.
Just give them the whole picture, come with a package, and then that's more helpful to the news organisations to pick up immediately. And I felt that was just a really important point for all of us who have stories.
I'm very passionate about my job and the city that I live in and the people that make this city tick.
This understanding is something that religious education also seeks to encourage, trying to enable young people to understand the communities that they're growing up in, to understand themselves, their own worldview, in a bigger context of the world that they are growing into. And that means that they need to have a better understanding of communities, beliefs, practices, and religious understanding in our society as a whole.
Social media, there's like a wider audience. You can connect with anyone. You can hear other people's views on certain topics.
So I believe you need to do your own research and then go back onto social media, because it can be quite narrow and it can create an echo chamber.
In all the newsrooms I worked in, you'd have this thing about faith and not being really understood. So it would be all about festivals. It's Chinese New Year, let's go and film that dragon. It's Ramadan, we must do something on Ramadan. And that's the only times that we would ever interact with those faith groups, not knowing there's 1,000 stories behind all of that. So these events are really important because it means that we're listening to people and we're understanding what makes them tick and what those faiths can reveal for us as journalists.
I think my takeaway is that the relationship isn't strong enough, but that there is goodwill on both sides to build those relationships. And I think the key word that has emerged at them all is the issue of trust. And I think it's possible to build that. And I think it's possible for faith groups to be reassured that journalists want to tell their stories and want to tell them well.
I hope this is the beginning of a journey, because I think everything we've been hearing is all about trust and relationships.
You are a room full of people of faith, and I think my takeaway is I would urge you to have faith. You'll learn as you go along and just get your stories out there. So have faith in us.
If you feel strongly about something, if you feel that you do have a story, if you feel that you deserve a space on that platform, speak to someone.
Don't assume that somebody else has phoned them in, because I think most people do that. Somebody will know about this and it'll be in the media, but nobody else knows about it. It just happened on that street and that's it.
We've brought the people together, the religious communities and the media. We've introduced them to each other. We've opened up lines of communication that weren't there before. I suppose we'll see over the coming months and years whether the coverage of religious stories on a local level improves, and then we'll be able to say it's been really effective. The early signs are that relations have been built here that are really strong.